Okay, I think he's joined now. You can just request to join the live video, then I'll add you up on screen. I'm doing good, Nduba Masumba. I'm doing good. How are you doing? How are you doing? Can you get me? Is the audio okay? I already know the video is not okay because I use Android. Yeah, so request. Let me just add it. Okay.
Yo, how you
The
doing?
flesh. How are we doing?
I'm doing great, thank you. And
I,
I'm great, thank you. How are you doing?
I'm okay. It's actually good talking to you. You've actually inspired me in my early years of trading.
Oh, awesome. When did you start trading?
You're saying?
When did you start trading?
I started in 2021.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. So when I came across his pages like Bliss Billion Dollar,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you and Mr. Lee were people I actually came across to. And I was really
Oh, okay.
interested in what is this whole smart money thing. But anyway, before we get to that, I just want to know how was your trading journey like in the beginning? Like how did you know about forex? Yeah, and where
Okay.
so did you know it from?
Okay, awesome. Hope I'm audible enough, bro. Hope I'm audible enough.
Not that much though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, not that audible.
Oh, okay. I think let me. Okay. Am I audible now?
Yeah. Yeah, I can get you now.
Awesome. So, yeah, nice to meet you, and so happy and glad to be on this platform. And
Okay.
looking to this particular session with you guys and with you, of course, Mr. 875. And out my first experience it was back in 2019 to go all that back. 2019, it was in June. Right? So it's that thing where a friend of mine, Mr. Fancy Neighbor, his name is Fancy Neighbor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's a very good friend of mine. Two friends now also. So the thing is with Mr. Fancy, it's that kind of a thing where he was also on a demo account. He was just excited about the news. I want to also be a part of trading and the likes. Just called me up. I was like, what's going on with where? But that particular time, I was at pastor's house, my pastor's house. We're having church there, so he came through because his pastor is also my pastor. So after we met, he started talking with me about trading and like. So I was busy asking him a lot of questions. What is it about this forex? Like you get just a lot of money and then uh, make it just like that. And just like yeah, it's that kind of a thing where growing up, I knew that I'll have money, but not having money at an old, but having money, at least when I uh, at least in my young age, at least, that's how I imagined it. But when he talked about forex, I was like, you know what? Let me see how that goes because our mutual friend, Mr. KP, is the one who was actually trading on a live account. He started the year before that, and he was hosting a class, a forex class, because he had an institute with three of his friends. There were four guys, namely Mr. Taurai, yeah, Taurai. There was also 1G or AKA James, we call him James. Another one called Isaac in Kumbirai. To get him John JP. So offering like it was the group of guys were right for the FX. So they were doing like a free forex class where it was at Stay Easy Hotel, and they were like, you know what, just come through, make sure register. So I talked to Mr. JP. I was like, sign me up. I was with Mr. Neighbor. If you were to go to the page right here on Instagram, you were to go there and where the effect is that most of their old photos. I was even part of that class. Yeah, so I went there. It was really inspiring. Of course, we had trend line and
Is it possible? Is it possible if you could? I don't know what you did to the volume. Just increase it a bit. The first thing you did, yeah, just increase it a bit.
Okay. I'm not able to increase the volume. Am I audible now?
Yeah, you are.
Oh, awesome.
You are.
Okay. So yeah, as I was saying, so I went to that particular class. They were teaching about trend lines, if I recall very well. Teaching about trend lines, how you can trend lines multiple times. Right? So I got interested, and these guys were looking how well dressed. I'm like, you know what? Let's this thing. So I remember offering classes like lifetime classes, which were very expensive at the time, which were like 5K. Yeah. So I arranged the money. So I don't have volume.
You're saying there are 5,000. The lessons are 5,000.
Exactly. They were 5,000. So I arranged the money quite quickly. I told my sister here, and you know what, let's push in. Let's see how to go about that. But of course, I didn't tell them that that's what I wanted to invest in. I told them to say I want to buy a better laptop, because at that particular time, it's the same time that I got accepted at one of the but I was like, you know what, I want to get a better laptop. Can you help me get a better laptop? But part of that money paid the guys, and we started the lessons, and I was being trained by John JP. So learning. But of course, along the way, the guys were busy. Of course, I couldn't get enough time, but of course, I was communicating with Mr. JP and having all that time to ask a few questions here and there. From there, that was around 2019 somewhere. That was October. I funded my live account. I blew it. Funded my second account. Blew it. I blew like 4 accounts. In a row in 1 month. But that didn't stop me. I kept on going. That kind of a thing.
How much were you funding in those 4 accounts? How much were you funding?
The first account which I funded was $10, just to try out and see how it goes. From $10, I raised it to like 50, then blew it. Second one, I funded the 50, reached it like 150, then blew it. The fourth one, I funded 50 again, it reached 100, blew it. And the third one, I funded $5. I didn't even make profit that one. Hey, God, really. I was trading gold that day, and there was NFP, and I had no idea that there was such a thing as it. I the money and that gold. I'm like, you know what? I'm seeing a buy here, and NFP really extremely hard. And I was taken out. That kind of thing where I entered positions and I'm like, this. Let's see how this is going to go. Then boom, I'm seeing 0-0. I'm like, what's really going on? And all of my money was from the guy. And I was fortunate enough to meet with my current forex Felix Chandler. I'm not going to talk about him very much because he's a confidential person. So he taught me everything I know now. He introduced me to the smart money concept, and with him, an amazing trader, super, extremely good. So he started me with the and started growing from there. 8/20. That was December 2019. And from there, he taught me how to grow accounts from how you find your how you go about it. So I'm like, let's get it. So from there, I managed to raise $100. By that time, the dollar was like 15. So I found 500 and I was good to go. I had funded with $100. $50. And with the progress I started receiving, I started growing the account from $100 to 300, 400, growing to like $800, $1,000, like $1,000 by the time it was March the following day, and I wasn't enjoying how I can move onto like April month end kind of a thing. So April month end, by the time I reached April month end, it's that kind of a thing where I got from the point where the 100 that funded the brought 4,000.
4,000.
Yeah, 2,000.
Have you ever traded retail concepts? Because from the name Smart Money, I assume, Mr. Smart Money, I assume you only trade smart money concepts. Do you know anything about double tops, heads and shoulders, cups and handles, yeah, and the like?
Yeah, I stumbled that information one way or the other. Everyone has actually, stumbled on it one way or the other. I was trading. I even read the what do you call that? The Candlestick Bible. Read books from that guy at the Wolf of Santon. I've forgotten his name, but he's known as Wolf of Santon. That light guy. I don't know. He has. I don't know where he is right now. But yeah, he talked about double bottom, double top, support and
So
resistance.
what is the difference or advantages and disadvantages? Like try to make a quick pro and cons list of retail concepts, like for, because I'm not saying those things are bad. I know that people who trade double bottoms that and they make money out of those. But like for you, what made you dive to smart money? Why did you leave trend line, double tops, and all those things?
Okay, good question. Well, the thing is that the thing is retail from the retail about trend line. What I came to realize upon trading that I was making them money. The it was like a 50% win, 50% loss. I would fund, let's say, like I would fund about reach it to like or ended up going to $50 and below until I blew it. I tried even as far as going to support and resistance, marking it from like the daily all the way to like the one, trying to find zones where I can some clear buy, whatnot. But I really appreciate those things and the bullish all that. But smart money brought me in a world of certainty about the direction of bias of the market, right? I could tell to say, okay, this is what the institutions are, right? These are what the institutions are looking at, and once it reaches there, it can actually, okay, of course, support and resistance, price reaches there, it reverse. That's the way of the market, right? It reverses at some point, one way or the other, it has to reverse or a continuous happen. But with smart, upon looking at it, upon and balancing the two, I've come to realize that smart money trading, I had more advantages on my side because I would tell literally where the market was going. From the support and resistance, I would be like, you know what, it had a previous resistance here, price reverse from here, and price that's where it's headed. It will reach there and reverse, and then from there, what next? What's going to happen? Is it going to continue after this reversal, or it's going to continue down? But with smart money, it tends to give you that or that aspect of where you look at the market, not only from the general point of view on a bigger time frame, but rather even on a smaller time frame, scalping is actually more easy when you look at the direction of bias, look at the structure where the price breaks, that's where it wants to go. And once it breaks this particular area, there's what's known as a return to origin, price will get into an order block, and then boom. And also gave me access on entry. And for accurate, I would without any means of drawdowns, but not or look at break even and see my things go. But the thing is that smart money is not 100%. That's one thing. There's no 100%. So for
yeah,
I can say that that's been the advantage. I have like let me just say 85% winning rate with smart money.
yeah, yeah. That's true. That's true. Because when you're having a tighter stop loss, the risk to reward is actually higher.
Right.
And compared to a double bottom, double top, because when you enter on like maybe a support or resistance, you have to make sure your stop loss is like that far. But when you
Yeah.
enter with smart money concepts, you know exactly saying if it doesn't turn here at this point, I'm coming out. So yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. So let's assume I'm starting my trading journey. This is when I'm starting. What's the
Right.
thing you'd advise me to do, or what was the thing that was the hardest for you to learn, like around trading, everything in your trading plan? What was that thing you struggled with the most?
Uh, wow, that's a really good question. Well, I cannot say that it's just one thing that I struggled with. Let me just, I can say two major things that actually were a really huge problem and really, really got to me to a point where, you know, it was like, is this how I'm going to be? Like, will I be just funding and giving brokers money and that kind of thing, whatnot? These two things, first of all, was what I battled with the most was fear. All right, fear had the psychological point where you fund and trying to hesitate for trading. You know, I remember once my forex mentor, Mr. Felix Chanda, actually told me this. Is like, when you're hesitating to trade, everything in life is risky. Everything in life is risky. Getting married is risky. Having kids is risky. Being alive is risky. Buying a car is risky. Thing like, living in a day is risky. Now, if everything in life is risky and you want to trade the forex market and you don't want to, the money that you're funded in your trading account is no longer yours, right? It's no longer
Yeah,
yours. It is actually on a
that's why it's
platform.
called risk capital.
Right. Yeah, it can actually grow or reduce. That's the
Yeah,
whole point. So I battled with fear for a long period of time. Yeah, I battled fear, and moreover, the fear actually came as a result of not having adequate capital. It's like your last money. So last
yeah,
money, blow it. You need to start back again from scratch.
yeah,
Funding the account and seeing how it's going to grow from there. Like the journey to millions seem long. Yeah, so that's one of the biggest things, fear, and also I can say, lack of not funding properly. You know, every trader that is coming into a forex industry has this notion to say, okay, we'll be millionaires, right? We'll be millionaires,
yeah,
we'll
yeah,
make a lot of and whatnot. But the thing is that how are you going to become a millionaire? How are you going to become a millionaire? You're going to fund it, right? And you want to
yeah,
magically have an account which is like, let's say, below $50 for it to grow to like, let's say, $100,000. That would take a long time, right? That would
yeah,
take
yeah,
a long
yeah,
time. That definitely take a long time. So if you were to ask me, funding adequately is very vital. I know to most people, not everyone is well to do. People are hustling out there trying to. As for me, back in the day, I used to wash my neighbor's car so that I get paid and fund my account. That's how far it was. And here I am right now, not no longer doing that. But one way or the other, I had to do something. And the problem with that, how I solved it, was with the time that I had met Mr. Lee, and of course, who taught me about the multiple trading accounts, having multiple trading accounts. And I remember 1G, also 1G Mwambazi, yeah, 1G Mwambazi, also known as James, part of the Profit FX, taught me about the same thing, where he was saying that don't have one account, right? Don't have one trading account. Have multiple
yeah,
accounts. If it means funding $10 in your 4 accounts, that's better. Having like a $50 and then dividing it into like 5 accounts, that's okay. Where you are
yeah,
able to, this account is for NASDAQ, this account is for US tech, this account is for currency, this account is for, where, and most people, if they have multiple accounts, they can do that. But if you're trading the same thing, you can really, really miss out because If you're trading GBP USD on all the 4 accounts, if it goes in a loss, you're losing, right? If you have right, if you have one account, this one, that account going for that one, that account going for that one, at least you are able to account, you go to control that account. If it's blown from the profits of this other one, you can refund this other account, and from there, that's how I honestly, that's how I grew. I did not. That's $4,250. I split it into multiple accounts, and moreover, I was saving it for my school. Right? I reached the point my family was unable to pay for me for my second semester and going on. I had to trade for it so that I can pay for it. And right now, I even completed. And that's the aspect of how that was. And having multiple accounts, that really helped me out becoming a very, very successful trader, and also how to deal with fear. Once you fund the first thing once you fund the account, it's not yours. That money is not yours. It's already risked to go. But you need to have that whereby how much am I going to this amount of money that I have funded? Not having that psychological thing is that yes, this amount of money that I've funded, it may go. It may go. It will go perhaps if I trade this. That's what brings hesitancy, probably. Not probably, actually, I'm sure it brings hesitance because I faced it as well.
Well, I am seeing people in the comment section asking if they can ask questions. So yeah, you guys can ask questions when you've got a question. Just ask, and Wolf is surely going to answer it.
Right.
Yeah, I like the part you talked about where you said about splitting accounts, because I realized that's what also helped me in risk management. Because at first I never realized this, but I was gambling, right? So I would get my last money, I would fund it, and I'll put all of it on one trade. So if it goes my way, I'll make like maybe even 100 USD that day. But when it doesn't, I have to look for more money to fund. So like splitting the accounts was forcing me to like have an amount I'm willing to lose on a trade. So yeah, I actually. So what is your risk appetite? Like for you, what is your? I just want to ask how much are you willing to lose on one trade? Risk management wise.
Okay, good question. Well, it depends.
Or when you find different accounts, is it that every account, like the way I do it when I put one in a different account, like let's say most of the times I'll put maybe $2 in an account, and that money that I've put in, even I'll enter like with everything I have, and then I won't put a stop loss because that's my way of So for you, what amount are you willing to lose on a trade, and how do you go about risk management?
Okay, so first of all, it depends with the account that I have, right? Depends with the account. If I'm going to start an account with, let's say $100, right? I'm starting an account with $100. That means that I have a 1 to 3 risk reward ratio, right? So I'm willing to risk about the amount of money that I'm willing to risk, rather. I'm willing to make it like 3 times, right? So it depends on the account. Like $100, I'm willing to risk about $20. That's the amount. So if I enter, let's say I use a lot size, let's say 1 to 0, like 0.02, and maximum entry, right? So which means I have already calculated for each and every trade. So which means the 0.02, I'm 5, this one, and this 5, and calculating on the pips, you should be able to do something like $20. So with that $100, I have like 5 chances. If it continually hit my stop loss for 5 times, all right, 5 times, means I'm out of the game, right? With my $100 from this $20. Now the thing is that if it goes my way, right? It goes my way. So I'm able to make my target is something above $50. That's the thing. $60. Now the thing is that sometimes there will be times where the market did not go as you planned. It did not even reach. Let's say it did not reach not reach, let's say, the $60, it reached like 40. But it's okay. It's good trade, right? You have made more what you are risking. And also there are times whereby it will go beyond your take profit, right? Let's say, for example, in a week, I have, let's say, about 3 winning trades. And of course, we have 5 days in a week, Monday to Friday. Then Monday, Tuesday, or Thursday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Thursday, hit, and then the Friday hit my stop loss. In that particular week, I'm successful. I've made more money than I expect. But the thing is that we will not be hitting take profit all the time, right? Not be hitting take profit all the time. If you are able to have at least from Monday to Friday, you're able to hit your target at 3 times or more. You are in good environment, growing that out, and once it reaches like $200, I switch up. I have more risk. I'm risking, let's say, $40 now, right? I'm risking $40 so that I can play around with the lot size. I can increase the lot size to say, okay, I'm entering, let's say, about 3 trades. But this time around, I'm using with 0.05, and by the time it reaches like $500, I can up to them. Once it hits $1,000 up at the account. The main thing is that people are funding their accounts with no purpose, right? You like the account and which millions. Have a target. If you're funding that account, see how it will grow in a month, right? Have a target. What do you want to do with that money once it reaches your target? Once it reaches, let's say, from $100, make $500. Okay, from $500, you want to split like 50 into two accounts. That's fine. If in a month your progress or your failures, you get back look like, oh, okay, this particular not perform well. I had a target in this 1 month to make 500. I've made like 400. I'm short is like 100. And of course you move from there. But people want to trade that one account to extreme. They don't even have a plan to wait, right? So I think that's the proper management. I would go for $100. Yeah, for $100 trade of the account.
There's a question from the comment section. It says, what's the minimum deposit you would advise to fund an account? And I also want you to tell me what broker you use, because people don't realize this, but it's not only the amount of money you put, but the broker also matters when it comes to spreads and the likes. So for you, what works for you, especially for smart money, spreads are very important. So for you, what works for you?
Okay, so that's a really good question. Minimum deposit person should fund. Remember, Jambo said something about adequate capital. If you are trading, fine. Like, let's say, for example, you fund at $10. How much are you risking? That's my question, right? If you're funding at $10, how much are you risking? There's that kind of a thing. If you have an account like a $10, have a plan for it, right? You will not see how it goes. But of course, put it in with how you plan. My forex mentor, Mr. Felix, my forex mentor, Mr. And always tells me to say, if you don't have a plan, then you're planning to fail, right? If you don't have a plan, you're planning to fail. Yeah. So if you have an account, if you want to trade the forex market, adequate capital. I know to most people they will have the fear to say, what if it goes? You see, that's where the problem is, right? What if it goes? What if it goes? Start thinking, what if how much am I going to make? How much am I going to make? If in your psychology you're funding that money, trust me, it's being donated to the broker, right? So that hit the nail on the head. The best advice a person should fund the account. If you are not really trusting the forex market, that give $50 and right, that's the minimum. That's a really good account to start trading, right? Or even you start with right? Because with me, I believe the time I started trading with 100, that's the time I blew up. Started trading with bigger lots, bigger things, and stuff like that. Yeah, and also the broker that I use Xness. Yeah, I have accounts with Xness. I also have accounts with IC Markets. Yeah, IC Markets holds my biggest account that I have. Yeah. I also have with Professors FX Pro. I also have FX good broker. Yeah, it's the one that also most of my friends trade with FX Pro, and also RCG Market. RCG Market. So the instruments that I trade, IC Market is the best when it comes to spreads, all games, to Xnet, to RCG, also FX Pro. The one on top of the better spread is IC Market.
And then I've seen an interesting question in the comment section. It says, what leverage do you use? I actually want you to explain the leverage you use and why. Because funny enough for me, the leverage I use when I tell people that like it's too high, but it works for me anyway. Yeah, I use about 1 to 500 in derivative. I don't think you've got an option to change when it comes to synthetics. I don't know, but yeah, that's for me. I know my account was just like that. I never changed it. So for you, what leverage do you use, and why do you advise people to use that leverage?
Okay, so how can I put it? So I can say that the leverage that I use on all the that I have, my preferred trading leverage, I can say 1 to 500. It's right. So, but with IC Markets, I have 1 to 500. With Xness, I have 1 to 500. Though I have another account where I have 1 to 2,000 leverage. Yeah. So, and also market as market, I have 2 accounts, 1 to 500, the other one 1 to 1,000, right? And also with FX Pro, the highest leverage we offer is 1 to 200. Yeah, so that's the reason why I trade these leverage, because not only does leverage magnify your, also magnify your losses. That's the reason. Not only does it magnify your wins, it also magnify your losses. Most traders want to have a lot of money, because I've been having a lot of questions when I'm trading e.t.c, and they see a 0.01, making like 7,000. To be like, hey, what broker are you? What leverage do you? I want to try it also. But if it goes the wrong way, in a short period of time, make 7. What if it goes the wrong way, losing 7,000? Right? Do you have the capacity for money funded in that account that you'll be able to? I remember I once lost about nearly, that was about 10K in less than 15 minutes, right? I start trading e.t.c. I enter a buy and it begins to drop, right? It begins to drop. I'm planning on exiting and on going. By the time I realize, I closed it in like negative $10,000. I mean 10,000 rands, right? 10,000 rands. And you know that it's not the only account that I have. I have also multiple sublet 10,000. And that day, I remember I never recovered from that. I never recovered from that. I recovered the following day, but that account I had to fund. Now imagine if that's the only money that you have. And not really, but at least if you have multiple accounts, you're able to trade from there. At least it's really, 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 yeah.
I actually don't understand why people say 1 to 500 is huge. Because for me, I think it's normal, and it's working for me. And I never realized what leverage was the time I started. I just like went deep in, because I never had a mentor, a proper mentor. So I was just like trying out things, and I realized after like 2 years in, it was working for me. And by the time I checked, it was 1 to 500. But you hear
Right.
people say, no, it's too big. The best is 1 to 100. So anyway, can't understand what others think.
Okay.
Yeah. What
With me, the
are you
lowest
saying?
with me the lowest leverage which I've ever got for is the account for FX Pro, which is 1 to 200, right? 1 to 200. But that's the lowest I've ever gone. I've never been to like 1 to 100. It has never been. Unless, yes, I remember I once traded an account with one, but of course it was.
So yeah, the funny thing is leverage is borrowing power, right? So it's how much the broker needs to give you according to the equity you already have in your account, right? So if you have 1 to 500, it means you're putting in about a fraction of 1 divided by 500. So you're putting in less an amount. So I feel like for a small account, a high leverage is good, though it can be dangerous with the wrong information. You can lose a lot of money fast, but I feel like it's a proper way to scale up money. Yeah, so a higher leverage, I feel like for me, it's easier to scale up money. And then there's this
Yeah.
question in the comment section saying, what is the win rate of smart money concept? I think you answered this one already. You said about 85, right?
Yeah.
Somewhere 80, 85. And then for retail, it's mostly about 50-50.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, before I end the video, I just have one last question. What do
Sure.
you what do you think is the difference between someone who mentored themselves? Because I know there are a lot of people out there who want to teach themselves. The classes I'm actually having after this at 20 hours are for just a roadmap for those who want to teach themselves. So now, what advice would you give? What's the difference between someone who says, okay, I'll figure this out on my own, and someone who has a mentor?
So let me be extremely frank. Right? Let me be extremely frank. Very, in this industry, there's nothing like self-taught. That's one thing I can say. There's nothing like self-taught. Claims that they just taught themselves, which means what they are teaching me initially is they have never read it, they have never watched any successful trader, and they just look at the charts and start teaching themselves by, oh, this is a bullish candle, this is a bearish candle, or by themselves, right? So is not accept this industry. It does not. And on top of if any question wants to and then they don't want any mentor whatsoever, my advice to them is good luck, right? Good luck and out, because success needs help one way or the other. I remember I also one of my is a good friend, and also he mentors me in a lot of things. He has been a brother, he has been a mentor, he has been, a lot of things. What he normally does is like iron sharpens iron. That's there are things that you might help me with. One or the other, regardless of how the person is, yes, how you need help one way or the other. I needed help. I admit, yes, I needed help. Am I being mentored right now by big traders? Yes, I am. Yes, I am. There are times where I remember there was a time with Mr. Lee. We're fighting his house. I'm hearing these guys talk. Mr. Lee talking with me, and I'm just pressing my phone. And the issue that about, I was learning. I was like, can you please, find this that you're talking about a little bit more, and we'll be speaking. And I hear Mr. Lee talking about something, I'll be speaking. If you are to speak while I'm with me, sometimes I'll have my phone recording, right? I'll even put phone on the table. Everything that's value to me, right? I had a meeting with him yesterday, and that we had his younger brother and thinking about a certain type of trading. Of course, I had, but because these guys were, teaching me on how to do it, I actually was like, you know what? Let me try it out, and I a lot of money yesterday because of these guys. And I learned something. There's nothing like software, right? We all need help one way or the other, right? So that's my best advice. Good luck to people who want to trade for themselves. Yeah, that's my big advice.
Yeah, it's a journey. Because I remember what you're saying is true. I wouldn't say I'm self-taught. I just never had the mentor. So like I was looking for information out there, and sometimes I would find the mentor and they're like, give me 2,000. And that time I think I was working at Puma filling station.
Okay.
And imagine I'm getting a 1.6 and someone's telling you pay me 2,000. So I was like, I'll just figure this out on my own. So after like trading for 6 months, then you go on Mr. Null's status, you see me post something like, see the liquidity or be the liquidity. And you're like, what is this liquidity? You search for it and you're like, so I've been trading for the last 6 months and I never knew what this is. So yeah, what you're saying is very powerful. Anyway, thanks for the time. Yeah, with your permission though, I'm going to post this video on YouTube, the recording of this video. I just want to like raise awareness of trading in Zambia. So I'm going to try and push these things as much as I can go, because when I look at other countries, it's different when it comes to trading and the way the Zambian industry is. So yeah, I think it would do a bit good, like to have some sort of awareness campaign. And I saw some of your photos. Some of your photos were at Unza. Are you at Unza? I forgot to ask this.
No, I'm not. That's where church is actually. That's where church is.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I want to create some event at the main campus. Yeah, at the Unza main campus. So like I'll need help of different people so we can see how big it gets, just as part of the awareness campaign.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been nice talking to you.
No,
It's been very nice talking to you.
thank you very much for hosting me, and thank everyone for joining.
Yeah, thanks.